be honest, your workday is a marathon. We're talking 10-hour days, endless meetings, and an email inbox that just won't quit. And now you're supposed to find time to study for the GMAT? It can feel impossible. But what if I told you there was a plan where you don't have to sacrifice your career for a great GMAT score? In this video, I'm not going to give you a generic study plan, but an executive level plan that you can use to tackle the GMAT and get a great score, all while keeping up with your current work and family. With that said, let's jump into the presentation. The strategy I share today is going to help you achieve a great GMAT score without investing all your time. In fact, this plan will require only 10 to 20 hours a week, which is totally manageable if you break it apart into the chunks that we go over here today. Now, the biggest mistake most people make is treating the GMAT as another task to tackle. The mindset shift and the reframe here is to become the CEO of your GMAT prep. And that means creating a comprehensive plan of how you're going to tackle it. Investing in your career and earning an MBA is important. And so you need to put the appropriate amount of energy into that. Think of tackling the GMAT as your company, where you are accountable for the results. Because remember, the skills you build while studying for the GMAT can totally carry over into your studies post-MBA career. And that's a huge benefit. So what do I mean when I say think like a CEO? It means owning your calendar, blocking time to study the same way you would block time for important board meetings. This time is non-negotiable. So at the very start of things, you want to open up your calendar and block time, at least 30 minutes a day, to dedicate towards studying. The next thing we mean by thinking like a CEO is defining your why. Why are you pursuing an MBA? And why is taking a GMAT an important step towards that goal? Is it a career pivot? Is it a faster path to leadership? Define that why and write it down for yourself so that you have something to anchor to as you inevitably encounter struggles along your journey. Remember, on those low energy days, your why statement will keep you moving forward. And lastly, we make time for things that we prioritize. Stop finding time to study and prepare. Start making it for yourself. So let's jump into the efficiency blueprint. And I've broken it down into 3 sections. Remember, the point of this system is to work smarter, not harder. The first step is the diagnostic phase. This is where you take a full GMAT practice exam, cold with no prep, just so that you can establish a proper baseline. The purpose is not to get a great score, it's just to gather initial data so that you can compare yourself in the coming week. If we go back to that CEO mindset, think of this as your Q1 report. The next few quarters or exams will tell you how you improved based on that initial performance. It's also going to give you a good idea of weak areas that you can pinpoint, which leads directly into section 2, which is that surgical strike study. You don't have to study everything. That can be overwhelming. You want to focus on the 80-20 mindset, which says focus 80% of your energy on the few areas that you might have weaknesses in. Develop those areas into strengths, and then the larger score will take care of itself. Remember not to ignore areas that you do well in just to maintain performance there. As you go through this step, collect data. Practice active learning by tracking the errors you make and revisiting them later on in the week. Section 3 is all about consistency, which matters more than motivation, and it definitely beats cramming at the last minute. You want to build momentum with structured weekly practices so that your systems become automatic as you prepare for the GMAT. When we think about the surgical strike study, it's important to anchor on 2 key points. The first is this notion of active listening. Don't just watch videos or move through the motions of taking a practice exam. Explain the concepts out loud so that your brain starts to hear your thinking and begins to internalize it a lot faster. As I said earlier, keep an error log. This collection of data is super important in understanding your areas of weakness and how you're improving upon them. Make sure you tackle what you missed, why you missed it, and properly understanding the fix. From a CEO mindset perspective, this is your quality control system. This is where the real improvement happens so that you can identify those systemic flaws in the process. Let's talk about your weekly study cadence. We said earlier that weekdays about 1.5 to 2 hours a day is reasonable, and you want to focus on one topic at a time. Let's say it's algebra one day, critical reasoning another, and maybe data insights on the third. Now you are working at the same time as studying for the GMAT, so you want to find that time and protect it like we said earlier. Maybe you're studying before work when you're fresh, or after work when you feel more productive. This is a personal decision. On the weekends, maybe you have more time to commit. So look at 3 to 6 hours per day, which sounds like a lot, but broken into chunks can really add up. When possible, think about scheduling deep dives without any interruptions so that you can really hone in on a topic. The weekend is a great time to resurface the error log so that you can really do that compounding exercise of understanding your errors, fixing them, and understanding the solutions behind them. When possible, try to use their dead time like a commute or to review flashcards on the train or listen to podcasts while you're driving just to get some constant information in your brain that might help with studying later on. But if you value a little bit of quiet time in between study sessions, then be sure to schedule that as well. This is a personal choice, and so you should think about what works best for you. I'll take a pause here to say that if this strategy is resonating with you, make sure to subscribe and like and share with your friends who might benefit from this content. As we've hinted at before, your time is your most valuable asset, and so you want to invest it with the best resources as possible. Don't waste effort on low quality materials. And at the same time, you want to invest your time and money in official materials that will get you moving forward, whether that's a book, a tutor, or an online program. Whenever you can, focus on securing official GMAT materials because those are the questions and concepts that will help you the most in preparing for the exam. A high quality online course is a great way to supplement your study. I personally invested in one myself, but I made sure that I could ask questions of the online tutors in a way that would give them a chance to respond to me. Without that back and forth, it wasn't worthwhile for me to invest in such a program. You want to make sure that the teachers leading the programs are experts and have credentials that you can fact check. We talked about downtime before, and the mobile apps are a great resource for that. They gamify learning, which can help with retention. Similar to the first item, make sure that you're using resources that leverage GMAT and GMAT validated questions so that you know you're studying the right thing. Avoid collecting endless books and questions. Remember, less is more in many cases. The more clutter you create, the harder it is to make decisive actions, and it increases fatigue. You're an executive and your time is valuable. Stick to a few high quality resources and focus on execution. We talked about your Q1 performance in the beginning, and mock exams will be a key part of defining your quarterly improvements. Think about taking a full-length timed exam every 2 to 3 weeks and spend time analyzing your results. Specific things you want to focus on when analyzing include your pacing, the error patterns you're making, and then finally taking all that information in and making strategy adjustments for your next few weeks of study. Remember, don't get discouraged by a poor mock test score. It's only a point of data. I remember I would get so discouraged when I saw a drop in my mock test exam from the previous week. But if I had just known that this is just a data point in a larger journey, it would have been much more helpful to my mindset. A concept we have to talk is burnout. We have to remember that this isn't a sprint, it's a marathon. And so you want to take these key steps to avoid that burnout so that you can approach not only your GMAT exam, but the larger journey ahead of earning an MBA on the best footing. Be sure to cap your hours. We talked about the amount of hours that you commit and how to block that time, but you don't want to overextend yourself. Try not to study more than the allocated 20 hours a week we discussed. The return curve on this drops fast after a certain amount of time, and you want to be mindful of not overextending yourself. Rest is the most important thing to retention of knowledge. Take at least one full day off per week. And if you're someone who values their fitness, don't let that drop. Don't skip workouts or walks or runs or whatever you do to stay healthy. Keep that as part of your routine and protect that time as much as you would your study time. That holistic approach will help you in the long run. It's an investment in the mental clarity you need to learn effectively. And that's the complete framework. You need to have a CEO mindset from the beginning that allows you to take full ownership of your preparation. Develop an efficient blueprint that blocks your time and uses it efficiently around not only your strengths, but more importantly, leveling up your weaknesses. Be mindful of the resources you spend, not only in terms of your time, but also money, and be sure to constantly look at your performance. Remember, it's all data points in the interest of a larger story. They are meant to sharpen your focus and help you achieve your goals. A 700 plus GMAT score isn't about intelligence. It's about having the right system and the right strategy. If you follow this approach and modify it to your preferences, then I'm sure you'll be on your way to reaching your goals while keeping a full-time career. Remember, you're a professional executive. You have the ambition and the discipline, and now you have a strategy. You don't have to pause your career just to study for the GMAT or take an MBA. You can do both with the right strategy, and hopefully this video got you there. If you'd like to learn more strategies like this, then check out this video right here, and I'll see you there.